Episode 126. In the stone hall outside the passage, over a dozen disciples of the concealing moon sect were all staring fixedly at a woman in white. This woman was none other than that self-proclaimed twin moon beauty, the spoiled and willful girl. But now her face was pale, her expression one of utter bewilderment.
Junior Sister Zhao, what did you just do? Why has the passage entrance vanished? What kind of talisman did you just throw? Junior Sister Zhao, are you trying to harm Ancestor Nangong?
What? Harming Ancestor Nangong? Are you trying to get us all killed?
Everyone knew this was no laughing matter. If the Grand Master never made it out because of this, they'd be in for a world of hurt. If they go back, the lightest punishment will be the complete loss of their cultivation and expulsion from the sect. The worst, they'll lose their lives and suffer the agony of being frozen solid. They all knew exactly what the loss of a core formation cultivator meant to a sect. That's why their tension was mounting.
I didn't do anything. I just stuck a low-grade Ultimate 5 Elements talisman by the entrance. I was going to activate it when the beast chased us out to give it a taste of its own medicine.
Junior Sister Zhao understands perfectly well. With a disaster like this, even the most powerful backer won't be able to save her.
The terrifying thought of the girl being trapped forever sent a chill through her, leaving her hands and feet ice cold.
Enough talk. Let's see if we can clear the tunnel and rescue Ancestor Nangong.
Right. Rescuing Grandmaster Nangong is the priority.
We'll deal with Junior Sister Zhao's matter after we've rescued our ancestor.
This statement immediately alerted the disciples of the concealing moon sect. They hurriedly unleashed their various multicolored magic tools, bombarding the spot where the passage should have been in a frantic attempt to break the restriction and rescue the girl. Several hours later, deep in the underground world dozens of zhang below, the young woman opened her eyes wide, staring in disbelief at the person who had suddenly appeared before her. With one hand, he directed 7 golden blades to attack the ink flood dragon, while his other hand summoned a black iron shield to block the creature's corrosive spray, protecting them both. It was that little fellow from Yellow Maple Valley he'd met once before, the one he'd found vaguely interesting. This person had suddenly appeared from nowhere, just as he was about to exhaust his magic power after hours of evasive flight from the ink dragon's attacks. He had rescued her in her moment of dire peril. Han Li parried the ink dragon's attacks as best he could, casting a glance at the utterly astonished young woman. He couldn't help but feel a pang of bitter amusement. Han Li had been watching the concealing moon sect's battle with the ink dragon with leisurely ease. Even when the beast transformed and advanced, he was merely taken aback, showing no sign of panic whatsoever. But when the girl tried to retreat and the entrance to the stone passage vanished, Han Li could no longer remain seated.
If that passage entrance is gone, doesn't that mean I can't leave no matter who wins?
At that moment, the freed ink flood dragon and the young woman clashed once more. It was clear the concealing moon sect's ancestor was completely on the back foot. Even as she relentlessly drove her ring-shaped magic treasure to attack the ink dragon, the newly molted demon beast's defenses had reached an unbelievable level of strength. Whether the magic treasure spewed flames to burn it, or she used the treasure itself to strike it directly, neither could inflict any significant damage. At best, they left a patch of scorched hide or a minor bruise. This only enraged it further, driving it into a frenzy as it chased the young woman with even greater ferocity, cornering her several times. Yet the sheer number of ultimate talismans this concealing moon sect ancestor carried also gave Han Li a real eye-opener. Talismans for Earth Evasion, Water Prison, and Firebird, a whole series of rare and wondrous talismans, were all paraded before Han Li's eyes. Whenever the young woman was about to be wounded by the demon beast, she would throw out a talisman, and it would immediately produce a miraculous effect, allowing her to escape danger. Unfortunately, the girl clearly didn't have any high-damage talismans, so each time she could only barely protect herself. There was no way she could injure the ink dragon with them. Han Li watched the young woman being driven into a corner by the ink dragon, his own inner struggle growing fierce. If the passage had still been intact, Han Li wouldn't have given a damn about the life of this concealing moon sect ancestor.
But now, with the passage gone, this place has become a dead end. Han Li's mindset was naturally quite different.
What did that concealing moon sect ancestor just call it? The minor 5 elements illusory restriction. It seems she has a deep understanding of the restriction that caused the passage to vanish. Our hope of escaping through the ground still rests with her. I'm completely clueless about restriction spells. This young lady expert absolutely cannot die right now.
But Han Li didn't act rashly, fearing the girl might still have some hidden trump card up her sleeve. So he waited until the girl was exhausted, her talismans nearly all spent, and she was on the verge of having no tricks left before he suddenly stepped in to save her. The girl's reaction to Han Li's sudden appearance was a mix of shock, joy, and a touch of annoyance. She saw through Han Li's plan perfectly. He'd deliberately let her fight the ink dragon until now before stepping in. But no matter what, dealing with the ferocious black flood dragon before them was the main priority. So, after a brief rest, the young woman wordlessly urged her magic treasure forward and attacked. The moment Han Li and the ink dragon clashed, he was inwardly groaning in dismay. Watching the girl fight it earlier, I hadn't seen anything special about this beast, but now, facing it myself, I'm experiencing its true, terrifying power.
My golden talon blades are considered top-tier magic tools, but whenever they get close to the black flood dragon, it just casually bats them away with its 2 claws and tail, sending them flying back dozens of feet. They don't stand a chance. Even when I relied on their numbers and sent several blades at once, and was lucky enough to have 1 or 2 strike the ink flood dragon, the result was nothing more than a white scratch. No other effect at all.
The ink flood dragon's attacks left Han Li no room for carelessness. He didn't dare let a single claw or tail strike land. Not even the occasional spray of black water got through. Han Li blocked every last drop with his iron shield. Even so, this magic tool that had saved Han Li's life several times was now pitted and scarred by these seemingly insignificant black droplets. It was impossible to know how much longer it could hold. If the black water is this terrifying, how much more absurdly potent must that vicious purple liquid be? No wonder those concealing moon sect disciples died so cleanly and their magic tools were completely useless. Han Li and the ink flood dragon fought with growing alarm, relying almost entirely on their movement techniques to evade the beast's ferocious assaults. Their golden blades couldn't hold it back in the slightest.
No wonder she had all her disciples leave this place. Aside from someone with my kind of movement technique, you really can't find many chi condensation disciples who can hold their own against this beast.
Just then, the young woman's vermilion bird ring arrived, instantly taking the pressure off Han Li. After all, this ring magic treasure could still inflict some pain on the ink flood dragon.
Little one, you've been there for so long. Why didn't you act sooner? If you'd acted sooner, we might have had a chance to seriously wound that beast.
I was afraid you'd kill me for my treasure.
Han Li's brutally honest reply left the young woman speechless for a long moment. Han Li understood perfectly well that while this girl looked young, her true age was more than enough to be his grandmother. So it's best to play fewer games and be more direct. Laying all your cards on the table is the only way to ensure true cooperation in a fight without tripping each other up. As for the other party's status as a core formation expert and the difference in seniority, Han Li simply pretended not to know and glossed over it. After all, given her current strength, she was no match for him. With her magic power severely depleted, Han Li felt no fear toward the young woman.
You're so young, yet you scheme so much. Aren't you afraid you won't live long?
If I had any less cunning, I'd have been dead a dozen times over. What future are you even talking about?
Seeing that Han Li had fallen silent and let her have her say, the girl's anger subsided a little, and she began to consider their strategy against the enemy.
Do you have a way to seriously wound this beast? If you do, speak up now.
After fighting alongside Han Li for a short while and still being chased all over the place by the ink dragon with no chance to fight back, the young woman finally couldn't hold back and asked,
I do have one, but I need to keep it pinned down for a while. It can't be allowed to move.
All right. I'll burn the last of my magic power to hold it for a moment longer. I hope it's enough for you. But is your method reliable?
I have a talisman treasure of immense power. It will absolutely shatter this serpent's defenses.
A talisman treasure?
I never would have guessed that little brat from Yellow Maple Valley could get his hands on something so rare.
I do have a talisman treasure or two on me, but in terms of raw power, they don't hold a candle to my vermilion bird ring. If he's that confident, it must be a talisman treasure that purely shatters magic power. That's an absolute rarity.
Seeing Han Li's method was viable, the young woman immediately halted in mid-air. She unleashed the same technique that had trapped the beast before, firmly ensnaring it once more with the vermilion bird ring. The creature thrashed about in a fit of startled fury. Seizing the opening, Han Li immediately raised his soaring sky shield in front of him. With his other hand, he drew out the golden light brick talisman treasure and then dropped into a cross-legged sitting position. Under Han Li's command, the golden brick talisman treasure manifested its magic treasure form moments later. A long golden brick floated into the air, its light radiating in all directions. And the magic power within Han Li's body, like a flooding river, poured ceaselessly into the brick. In moments, a full third of his energy was drained away. This only made the golden light above his head blaze even brighter, so intense it was nearly impossible to look at directly. The young woman kept the ink flood dragon fully restrained while keeping a close watch on Han Li's every move. Seeing the golden brick materialize, the anxiety that had been churning in his heart finally settled.
It seems the kid wasn't lying. This magic treasure really can break through the beast's defenses.
The black flood dragon seemed to sense the danger. Its claws clamped down on the ring's sides, struggling with such ferocity that the young woman's vermilion bird ring began to tremble visibly.
Hurry up, it's about to break free.
Han Li didn't dare hesitate. With a point of his finger at the magic treasure above his head, the golden brick shot toward the ink dragon. Mid-flight, it suddenly swelled to an enormous size, becoming like a small mountain, and slammed down upon the beast with crushing force.
The ink dragon, still struggling, knew things had taken a turn for the worse. Its two green eyes flashed with a vicious light. It opened its maw and spat out the dreaded purple core liquid once more, the very substance Han Li feared. The liquid shot up, meeting the descending golden brick head-on and holding it at bay, preventing it from falling for the moment.
The young woman and Han Li were both startled.
I didn't expect this ink flood dragon to still have strength in reserve. We must finish it quickly. If we drag this out any longer, the situation will only get worse. He's probably at his limit controlling that golden brick. I'll have to figure something out.
The young woman bit her lip, pulled a yellow bead from her robes, and hurled it at the beast still locked in a struggle with the golden brick. With a thunderous crack, the orb detonated the instant it touched the ink dragon's head. A cloud of yellow mist, not particularly large, immediately enveloped the serpent's skull, causing the beast to let out a panicked, low roar. The stream of purple liquid ceased its spray. Without its corrosive defense, the golden brick, its light slightly diminished, came crashing down. It struck the serpent's head with a solid, earth-shattering impact. Blinding golden light instantly illuminated the entire subterranean world, only to fade just as quickly, returning to normal. The brick then shrank back to its original size, transformed into a streak of golden light, and flew back to Han Li's side. All that remained in mid-air was the beast, now on the brink of death.